really enjoy about Bluffton is how it's kind of like a small town, and I love how kind of like all the stores are close to each other, and I love how you kind of just like get to know everyone there, and I also love riding my bike around because it's such a small town that really you can do whatever.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you can ride a bicycle around town. Campbell, you were born here, have grown up here, and you have seen so many things change. And I don't know if you realize how much has changed since you were born, which is just a mere wisp of time. You know, a wisp of time is not much time. So
Yes.
it's a wispy clouds.
Yes. So I have a question for you.
What is it, darling?
When and why did you choose to come to Bluffton?
I was brought here by your grandfather, Don,
Mm.
who took a job at Sea Pines as a landscape architect, which he loves doing. And so we moved to Bluffton, and Will was 1.5 years old. Pat was 2.5 years old.
How long did it take you to get used to Bluffton and the society?
It took no time at all, my trumpet. Actually, when I first saw Bluffton, I was about 10 years old. I came over from Savannah with my mother and a friend of hers to visit the Warings, who own a house down the river near Gascoigne Bluff. And we came here, and I thought, wow, it looked like a giant mountain to me because it seemed so high up off of the ground. Bluffton is on a bluff, but to me, when I first saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is really, I thought we were in a high mountain, but we weren't really in a high mountain. But it was kind of like that. Anyway, I was about 10 years old when I first saw Bluffton. And the next time I saw Bluffton, we came over, your grandfather was in the National Guard, so we came to Savannah once a month from Atlanta. And Will was a baby, and we came to Bluffton for the day. And somewhere I have a picture of me holding Will in front of the Church of the Cross when Will was like a year old. And it was very hot that day, but there was nobody around. There was never anybody around when we first came here. I mean, because it was a very small town. And it was also quite hot. It was quite different. And I loved meeting all the people who are not here anymore, like Boris and Hilda Rabinowitz and Mr. Messix, who had a filling station down the corner from my store. And the Bluffton Telephone Company was right on the corner where now there's a school.
So when did you get a house here in Bluffton?
Got here in 1971. We rented the only house that was available in Pine Island. Wallace Wise owned it. And your father had his second birthday there at the house. We bought the only house for sale in Buckingham in 1971, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Now there are lots of houses.
Tell us a bit about your store, when it was created, how, why did you do it?
Well, when I was little, my mother had a shop in Athens, Georgia, and she imported things from Switzerland. She imported organdy pinafores, which are little dresses for girls, which were embroidered by Swiss ladies. She had fabric from all over the place, and I was fascinated. I was little, and I was fascinated by the whole thing. And she decorated people's houses and shops and things like that. And so when we got here, we met Matthew Peoples and Luke Peoples, and Luke and Matthew had a store on Calhoun Street, and they offered it to me to rent because they loved Tad and Will and Jamie were little then, and they loved having the children around. So they said, "Why don't you have a store in this store?" So I thought, okay.
So what year was that?
1970, actually 1977. And then I opened my store in 1978, which was just yesterday, I think. Wasn't it?
So how many years have you been in the store, working at the store?
Let's see, 1978 and 1980. Gosh, can you believe it's 2022? Holy Toledo, it's already almost is half over.
So
can we talk?
Yeah. You can just estimate for us.
Let's see, like 40-something years.
44?
I think so.
44.
And I'm still standing upright.
So what about all the parks, Babbie? What do you think about that?
I think they're wonderful. You know, when people come to town, they love to just walk around and sit on benches and enjoy the whole thing. And it makes the ambiance of Bluffton more appealing to a lot of people. And the park's a wonderful addition. You can have parties in them,
Yes.
weddings,
Very.
barbecues, whatever. And the oyster factory is a nice addition too. I mean, it's always been here, but
So the town really loves you, Babbie. And
really,
you know that, right?
no. Well, I love the town.
Because
So
you've created all these fun festivals, the 4th of July parade,
Easter parade,
Easter parade,
Bluffton Village Festival,
mm-hmm,
the Bluffton Flower
the
Show,
Bluffton Flower Show.
um,
And what was that like
the
for you? How
Scarecrow.
did you kind of do that?
Well, Bluffton's such a wonderful, magical place, and it's just a perfect setting for all these wonderful little things that people can do. It's just a fun way to share the beauty of Bluffton with all your friends and people that love to and join in. I think it's so much fun for children because when you're little, you need something to look forward to, something to share with everybody. It makes you have memories that you can't even recreate. Even when you're like 40 or 50 years old, you think, wow, I had so much fun at the Bluffton Christmas parade, the Bluffton Easter parade. All these things give you wonderful memories to think about forever and ever and ever and ever. So that's why I did it. It was my pleasure, and it's always my pleasure. Wonderful.
So now, can you give us a little inside scoop, just a little scoop, but not much, about any upcoming festivals or
Well,
parades?
let's see. I
Like
think
just a tiny
the
scoop.
teeny weeny thing. Well, we're going to have hopefully work on another Bluffton Flower Show in March,
Mm-hmm.
and other things I probably can't talk about because sometimes when you talk about things, they don't come to fruition because
So you're saying that there is upcoming stuff that'll be
things.
surprising, and
things?
everything will be surprised about it.
I know everybody will get a big treat, and they'll all love coming to them, and we'll share all the fun with them and Bluffton, all the things that Bluffton has to offer, which we know are wonderful.
What do you think about the future of Bluffton?
The future of Bluffton is quite wonderful. No, I think the future of Bluffton is pretty swell, actually, where people want to be. Because now you have the opportunity to find out what you want to do. If you want to stay in Bluffton and create your own experience here, your job, or something to do, entrepreneur, you can figure out what you want to do, and you'll have an opportunity to stay here because now there's more opportunity for all the children here.
Yes.
It used to be all the children in the old days had to go away and go somewhere else to get a job. Now they can stay here and work. I think it's wonderful.